The PSP was released back in 2005 and was Sony's first handheld. It was able to do what most mobile phones can do today. However, back in 2005, it was actually incredible to have a gaming device that could play your videos, play music, and so much more. This little device could be your all-in-one solution for taking your media on the go. But is the PSP still worth it today? With all your Mio Minis and your RG35XXs, is the PSP still worth playing today? This little retro handheld can kind of do it all too, so let's check it out. So it's safe to say I love my PSP, right? There have been a couple of people though that have been saying things about me. Things that are definitely not true. Like,
Jaymz is done with PSP?
Pumpkin, can you believe that Jaymz gave up on the PSP?
Jaymz has given up on PSP?
okay, so you see what I mean?
Jaymz has given up on the PSP.
Has Jaymz given up the PSP?
Jaymz has given up on the PSP.
Yeah, okay, we get it. We get it. Okay, I've given up on the PSP. But
Jaymz. He's given up. Jaymz. He's given up. He's given up. Jaymz. He's given up. He's given up. On the PSP.
no, that's it. That's it. We are not giving up on the PSP. The PSP is a fantastic device that can play music, you can read comics, watch movies, and obviously play loads of video games. So this mod is very, very simple, and it requires little to no effort to get up and running. So let's get into it. So before we get into modding, we're going to need a few of these things to get it all up and running. So you're going to need an SD card and an adapter, as Sony had proprietary SD cards for the PSP. I'll be using this 8GB SD card, however you can use more than just one. I just have this particular one to hand. You're going to need an SD card reader as well to plug this into your PC and load the custom firmware and dump the ROMs. I'll not be able to show you where I got my ROMs from, however, simply Google this and you'll find out where you can find these ROMs. So first off, you're going to need a PSP. There are 4 models to choose from unless you live in the UK, where there was a 5th model released. So the first model was the 1000 series, which sports the LCD screen, which is capable of 480 by 272 pixel resolution with 24-bit color. Now this one is the chunky boy of the PSP lineup and is a lot thicker than the other PSPs that follow this. However, it's still really, really good and good if you have bigger hands. There's a 2000 model known as the Slim, which was a great upgrade over the original model. It's sleek in design and a better PSP screen, and also had an upgrade to the serial port, which was modified to allow video out. Yeah, that's right, you can actually play this bad boy on your TV too. This screen is also a lot brighter than the original model. This model has the best screen in my opinion, and I would recommend picking one of these up. The 3000 was also known as the Slim or the Light PSP model. Despite having an improved LCD screen with 5 times the contrast ratio, there was a mega problem with this model. When objects are in motion, the display would have a kind of ghosting effect in the gameplay, but to be honest with you, it's only side by side that I actually notice any of this, so if you manage to pick up a 3000, that's probably great. Next up is the PSP Go, Sony's first attempt on a fully digital handheld console, removing the disk tray and implementing the 16GB internal flash memory. The PSP Go also changed up its core design in this model. Rather than using the usual PSP design, Sony introduced a more internet mobile phone-like type device, which was popular at the time. So the 5th and final model of the PSP was exclusive to the UK, and this was the E Street model. To be honest with you though, even though it's exclusive to the UK, there's nothing special about this model. If anything, a lot of the features have been taken away. There are also some great variations of this console if you can find them, and this system is just fantastic. So one of the first things you want to do is check your firmware, which is in the settings, to make sure it's 6.61. If it is, then you're good to go. Then I use the site called PS Customs, which have all the software on there. Now, this Pro update is the one I used, and all you need to do is choose which model you have and then download it. It's that straightforward. So these Pro updates are the ones you need to download and then put them onto your SD card. This is a pretty straightforward process, and once you've done it, you've basically modded your system. All the information you could need for installing it is all here. It'll tell you where to put it. Not only that, there is something called Infinity. I didn't use Infinity in my mod because I didn't feel the need to use it. I've used the Pro custom update and that seemed to work just fine. So one of the things to take note of is if you want to put PSP games onto your PSP as well, you need to make an ISO folder in the root menu, and that is where you'll dump all your ISO ROMs for your PSP games. For this mod, you need to dump everything into the game folder. So you go into your PSP, click on game, and it is there. Easy, very straightforward. And now you've got a modded PSP. And just like that, you can play any PSP game you want. This system has racing games, it has RPGs, it has every type of game you can really think of on the system. There are so many games to collect for this, and if you're into RPGs, this is an RPG machine. These sorts of games really showed how the PSP could push the boundaries of what was possible in gaming. Being a PSP, it runs PSP absolutely great. And on top of that, it'll run PS1 pretty much flawlessly too, as the emulation for PS1 was kind of built into the hardware and the software. On this, you can play SNES, NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Mega Drive, Master System. It's a really good little system. So now the system is modded, these are just some games that I really think you should play. So guys, that is my little PSP video on why it is worth it in 2023. Hopefully everyone can stop saying that I've given up on it now, because I can definitely assure you I haven't. This thing is an absolute beast and I absolutely adore it. And I'm not gonna love this. It's such a great little system and everybody should play it. Has this kind of inspired you to play the PSP? Because I honestly couldn't recommend it more. And if you guys are, let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, we also have merch out on the channel now, so that's really cool. Also, if you didn't know, we do a podcast which is available on whatever podcast platform you choose to listen to it on. So if you're interested on that and see what me and Graham get up to on a weekly basis, head on over to there. Find us, the DRT Show. Anyways, thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a comment. See you on the next one.